Okay, hopefully this works and I'm not, completely destroying it. I'm trying to record with the back camera, and it's always hard. I can screen share and kind of like get it working, but it's still hard. What is up, everyone? This is the late night raw edition messy video series with Louis, your host. Um, Welcome to Tom, the office mess. We are getting ready for August. I'm really excited for August. A year ago, I started doing Substack, and I told myself I wasn't going to charge or do any paid subscriptions because I wanted to really get to know this platform and get to know my own writing and everything that I was going to do in this platform. I'm so glad I did that. If you're just getting started with Substack or maybe similar platforms or ideas, now you can do subscriptions in so many other places. Patreon, I know Instagram does a sort of subscription thing, TikTok as well. Trust me, don't go right into it. I've done that mistake before and now I'm just excited to have not, done that. um, I do a lot of content in English and I do a lot of content in Spanish. I'm bilingual. I'm from Mexico, but I'm from Baja, just to be also specific. It's different when you're from Baja, Baja California. And and yeah, I've been, just taking my time with this new project called Office Mess. Now, for short, after a year, I call it Tom because it's the office mess, my office mess. And more, I fell in love with this name, with my branding, with everything that I'm, trying to do with this project. I have a design office and I have a company called T.O.M, which our slogan is a design office, not that hard. And that's where the two letters come from. And I was always looking at how we are on the spectrum of chaotic and order all the time. We're on that spectrum, like chaotic order, and we're organized, but at the same time, we're messy. And more, when I meet successful people, entrepreneurs, that are on the spectrum that I am, on the frequency that I am, I get to understand that behind the curtain, there's always a mess that you have to clean from time to time. Maybe you can't live in the mess all the time, but maybe you can, create through it. And like Tyler, the creator says, great quote. And maybe you've seen it, in a video in a clip that's gone through so many feats right now that is create like a child, edit like a scientist. And I love that because that's really where the office mess, core sometimes lies in. And although all my clients know that we prove that we are organized and professional through our action, not our words, I'm still pretty open about how life is a mess. You can't be thinking that life is always going to be perfect. And you kind of want to invite a little bit of that messy side without letting it completely take over. Like in everything in life, I think what I do every day tests me and gives me practice to kind of just be able to play this game, this simulation, whatever you want to call it, because more and more it does feel like that. More and more, it's a weird place to live in and a weird era to live in. It's so much technology connecting us, and with so much openness and transparency at some levels. With war happening in the other side of the world, with famine still being a thing, with the climate just being shit. I mean, what am I who am I to just do content and talk about my shit and my messy lifestyle? I am still a human being. I'm still Louis, and I'm not gonna stop living life. I'm no one to do this, but at the same time, I'm everything to do this. Like I think that's where I'm at, and I get it. There's so many things that are happening that might make my content, dumb or whatever. But at the same time, I'm living my life. I can't stop. I can't just stop and throw everything away and go help out with I don't know, so much responsibility, so many loved ones that depend on me and I depend on them. I am part of an equation. I am part of a community. And today I'm happy to just be more, balanced and at peace with that. Obviously every day is a battle and every day we go through this is an adventure, but I'm still happy. I'm so happy to be here and just do what I love. I'm not going to stop living my life. I'm not going to let the system win. And I think everybody has to create their own little game, you know, and sometimes that game's gonna suck. And sometimes you are born in a shitty situation, but we cannot try to control the things that are not in our, you know, in our area of control or in our area or in our hands. You know, there's so many things that have nothing to do with us that are happening to us. So it's just a mind-boggling thing to go through that every day, and I let it go tonight, and I let it go yesterday when I did, like, these videos where I'm just, like, you know, messy hair all the way up and spiky, and I don't know, just doing videos with no mic. I do have this, like, USB mic right here, but I didn't love it, and it makes this weird noise, and I do have my podcast mic, but again, obviously, right when I had something to say, I didn't bring my interface with me, and I've been carrying that thing around, going back and forth between Baja and Mexico City for the past 2 months, and I've been carrying it around with me for that moment, and obviously, when I didn't bring it, it happened, and I talked about that in my last, in my videos in the videos I posted last night. But yeah, let me take a quick pause because I wanna see if the audio is working, and then I'll come back. Okay, we're back. It was recording correctly, by the way. I am using just my iPhone 16. Thank you, myself present last December. I gave myself this phone and I didn't know they had this feature. I don't know if it's new, I don't know, but it's called the spatial audio feature. And then you use audio mix directly on the camera app. And then you like kind of tune it a little bit to like sound however you want to make it sound. And to me, this sounds great. I mean, it's not the microphone level, but it's really, really close. So for like these types of videos, or at least what I'm trying to do, which is just be more mobile, it's amazing. So if you didn't know about this feature, again, amazing. I'm not trying to plug Apple. I kind of like hate them a little bit lately, and I don't know, their whole new era, I think is just interesting. And I do know Steve Jobs is like revolving himself around in his grave. But okay. Now let's go back to where this video started. I ranted a little bit, but it was part of it because I think I wanted to let that out, and it's fun to let things out, and this is part of what I do and how I do it. But I started talking about, um, you know, having started Substack a year ago, almost a year ago, 11 months ago, and we're reaching that first year anniversary. And like everything that I've done my whole life, I always did it quickly and rushed, and it was always kind of my bottleneck, you could say. Um, Also, I would always do too many things, which didn't really allow myself to focus and kind of like really like be precise of what I was doing. I'm still messy with when it comes to my creativity, hence my name, hence everything that I, you know, go through every day. And I think it has been enough explaining of why I do what I do and how I do it, you know, and this rant that I just did right now is purpose to that. I'll probably talk about it again. And obviously, anybody who's new to this and wants to ask me, I'll always be here to answer that. But I really want to start, you know, going forward with this brand, with this project. And part of that means really going into what I like to call, you know, just make the work, you know, not, you know, ranting about the project and what it is about. I think I've been talking a lot about what I want to do for the past few years. And then I get, you know, these moments where I do my content. And again, Substack has been amazing for that. Like lately I've been writing and posting every Friday at the end of the week. I post about what comes to my mind. They're really like diary style posts. And sometimes I'll get a little bit into the curation side and I'll give you some of the stuff that I'm looking at or that I'm saving through my social media addiction that I have, I guess. But at the same time, I'm just excited to reach this anniversary, 1 year anniversary at Substack and at Office Mess. You know, the Office Mess experience has definitely shifted and moved and gone up and down so many different times in the past year because I was experimenting. You know, I was understanding what I had done, you know, with just impulse when it came down to like change my Instagram handle, which was a whole thing for me. Maybe some people will relate, maybe others won't. But for me, someone that was, you know, professionally trying to do Instagram, and I'm still trying to do it, but I think more and more I find peace at the, oh, sorry. My timer there went off. I find peace that I do feel like a professional. I do feel more and more in my place after 10 years of learning, of being in school, the school of life. And now I'm here, just more proud to say that I will be doing paid subscriptions. I'd said it a year ago, and I told myself I wasn't going to do it because I wanted to learn and just really understand. I wasn't, that wise a year ago. Like I was also saying that I didn't want to charge or do paid subscriptions because, like, I don't know, like I wasn't trying to do a business out of my content, and I had gone through that before, so that was a smart call. But if I'm being truly honest, I also didn't understand it, and I also didn't want to like, charge people and I don't know, just not be there with the quality. Everybody has so many subscriptions and monthly digital tools that we pay for that I didn't want to be, gatekeeping my own content that maybe nobody even wanted to see. So I was a little bit insecure, and that's fine if you are and if you're in that point. But definitely get to know the platforms that you're using to do paid subscriptions. And I was never comfortable enough to do it. Now, 11 months in, almost a year into it, I'm definitely more comfortable. I'm more ready. I am set to what I want to do and the knowledge that I want to transfer to anybody who wants to pay and to anybody that wants to listen. Obviously, I'll still do a lot of free content, that's never going to stop because there's definitely going to be a lot of filler content, I guess you could call it that, diary post contents that won't have a paid wall, but I want to be able to, really value what I do. I put a lot of work into what I do. I put a lot of hours into sometimes editing videos, long format videos. I'm putting a lot of work into my own company that is gonna essentially, manage and produce and publish my brand called Office Mess. Sorry if I repeat that a lot. It's just me being my that style of host that I am. But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just be really clear and also to myself. Like this is like helping me right now to like even understand how to move forward. Another of my secrets is that like I do a lot of scripts sometimes when I do content, and it's amazing when you have a script. But at the same time, when I improvise these things, I'm like telling myself what I need to do sometimes while I'm telling you at the same time. So also a great way to like kind of get those thoughts out of my mind and kind of move forward. And again, now I'm happy to like start, getting ready for my first year anniversary here at Substack. To all my 36 subscribers that I'm seeing the my profile now and I see 36 people. I feel that we have a classroom, now finally we have a big classroom. I mean, 36 people for a classroom is definitely big, I guess. I don't know. I didn't graduate university, but if I remember correctly, that's a good number for a lecture, so I'm going to start doing more stuff, more content. This is still going to be free. This is still going to be obviously for everybody to look at. But yeah, this is just going to be a a moment with Louis here tonight to like talk about that, talk about how I'm comfortable and I'm ready to go back into paid content. Not go back, I'm sorry, to go into paid content and go back into what I wanted to say is I'm going back into fashion, into cultural photography, documentary photography. I say cultural photography because sometimes I'm like not a documentarian or someone that's like taking, doing a documentary about what I'm like taking photos of. I feel more like I'm like adding to the cultural archive of the internet and, taking photographs of so many things that I find beautiful and interesting and dramatic and just that it's telling a story. So I guess that's why I said that. I'm sorry. But okay. Yeah, I'm just excited to start, valuing myself at a level that I can charge. It's not gonna be easy. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, no, this is not the moment, whatever, this and that. There's probably gonna be critics, and I'm fine with that, and I'm good with that. But it's time. It's time for me to like actually start, taking this even more serious. This was a hobby for a year, and now I want to make it a job. I want to make it part of my job. I'm not gonna go full-time Substacker because I think the balance between my company, a creative company, which is a lot of fun and I love it. It's gonna really give me my voice and give me the experience that I want to, share. I want to be able to talk about the projects that I'm working on, the brands that I'm working with, what we're doing, what works, what doesn't. I want to be able to give you firsthand experience. If you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, learn from all my mistakes. I want to be able to just be real and just talk to anybody who wants to be part of the mess, because also remember, being a messy entity, doesn't mean you're not organized. And let's always keep that in mind. And now that I'm here, just excited to go back into fashion, as I was saying, it's really interesting because I have a lot of receipts that I can, use to, like, I don't want to say justify, but definitely bring a little backbone to what I'm saying. I really find it fun when I'm listening to someone speak or a TED talk or reading something, and there's a backstory to what people are saying, and there's a backstory experience to what people are trying to teach or preach or just say or whatever, So for me, after 10 years of a lot of work and with like a lot of experiences, I'm just excited to be here at this point. I knew that 10 years ago I needed this to, like, speak, but it didn't stop me from trying every year of my life for the past 10 years of trying to go viral or trying to, like, have a community. But I thought maybe it was part of it, or maybe I was gonna, get lucky and maybe get a big break and become rich or whatever and famous. And that was pretty childish of me to like think that. Now in retrospect, I'm just so happy that didn't happen. I'm so happy I wasn't part of so many past experiences that I thought I was a loser because I wasn't part of it. And now I'm just excited to be part of this new era where content creation has definitely taken a step, has definitely, moved forward into a different era. There's still going to be a lot of cringe content. There's still going to be a lot of coaches and gurus and all these types of content creators and people that are just trying to like hit that beginner market. I'm writing right now my next post, and I'm just saying, like, I don't want to speak to beginners. I don't want to speak to amateurs or speak to people that are just starting out. If you're that and you want to listen to me, amazing. But I'm not gonna do, how to do content. I'm not gonna do how to grab a first camera. Like, I'm just so tired of that content. I want to speak to people that have been doing this just like me for the past 10 to 15 years. I want to speak to those people that creators, that do this because they love to do it. Maybe they have a side job, maybe it is your full job, but more and more, like, it's just like, I don't know, we're not that young, people that went into this 10, 15 years ago. There's people with a lot of style and a lot of, experience to transfer, and they're maybe 40, 45, 50, and they're tech savvy. So they're the fun, podcasters to listen to. I mean, I love when people, combine experiences in a podcast, when younger people invite older people or older people invite, younger people. And who knows what old is now and what younger is. I know that I'm old, in terms of like, younger people, how they see me. But again, I'm young, in perspective, and they'll get to that eventually. And I do feel like I'm 21, like starting over everything that I wanted to do back in the day, which was a lot of photography, which was a lot of fashion and aesthetics and editorial design. And I'm still in love with it. I'm still, so deep into that world. But I step, I stuck, I stood up and I took a step back. I was like, I'm stopping. I went into different areas. I did TikTok for a long time, like 4 years of TikTok, where I did all types of accounts. I think I did like 6 accounts. I did getting ready with me's. I did, vlogs. I did comedy, and then that took off in an unexpected way. It was amazing, but at the same time, super weird. And I don't know. It was an amazing experience. Now TikTok for me is not what it used to be. It's still an amazing place to go get amazing content. I'm still doing TikTok at least once a day, at night or whatever. But for me as a creator, I'm so in love with Substack and Instagram. I love those two worlds right now combining. I love YouTube, and I'm going to start doing more YouTube for long format. But yeah, TikTok is just, it's been interesting, the past few months. And I don't know if in any other parts of the world, but here in Mexico, it's definitely hard to connect with people through TikTok. Like, the market and the people that are in TikTok is hard to like, find my people. It was really hard in these past experiences. And a lot of like charging me for views and likes by TikTok. So I don't know if that was just me, but I didn't love that. And they don't pay you for your content as well. I'm not doing this for likes or views or anything like that. In a way, Substack has like reprogrammed my brain because I see big time people with like 70 likes, and like 80 likes. And that really humanizes things, and I'm like, I like that. You'll sometimes see that, like more viral stuff, but I haven't seen, like a million likes on a post and stuff like that. So I don't know if that's good or bad. And I do see a lot of posts, people like, talking to my four people here on Substack. And I kind of hate it. I'm not gonna lie, like I think there's a lot of insecurity in that. You just talk, don't talk about your subscribers. I don't care about that. But it is a metric. And of course, I'm happy to have thousands of people here. It's more fun. But at the same time, I'm also just, not caring about it. And Substack kind of reprogrammed that. I'm still, falling into those old ways a lot of times. And I'm still, uh looking for that dopamine hit. It's definitely a dopamine hit when you get the likes, when you get the comments. I've been through that. I've gone through virality before, maybe not with the content that I like, but with other types of content. Whenever this does go viral, if it does, I don't care. I mean, definitely the dopamine hit is gonna be interesting and amazing. But again, I know that I'm talking about it, and it's not that I haven't, gotten over it. It's just that it's part of it. We're gonna be in between this. You cannot say that it doesn't feel good when you go viral. But honestly, what I have now in mind is that if you go viral once a year, trust me, that's enough. Like if you go and hit something once a year, that is enough to like find community. Sometimes the pressure and so many things come with it that are not nice. So that's why I'm like, it's like a really good party and you're not partying all the time, and you're not like just like thinking about drinking all the time or whatever, but you remember it. And whenever it does happen, you enjoy it. And that's how I see it now. And I'm just excited to be more on Instagram. I really like it. I mean, for a time there, I was like hating on it. I went over to TikTok, but it came back to me and I'm again just excited to be on there. It's a good platform, it's a good social media platform and I like it and I've, grown accustomed to it as well. But yeah, TikTok kind of out a little bit. I'll go back to it soon. I'm gonna start thinking how I go back into it. But what I was trying to say is that here in Mexico, they don't pay you for your content, and the market that I hit and the people that I attract is not the people that I want to, pull in, and not hating on anybody that actually followed me. But I don't know, like I wasn't connecting, the right way. I was doing content for amazing people, strangers, but now when I really connect with the people and I feel that if you pay me, I have a responsibility. I have this pressure and pressure is important. For me, pressure is needed. I definitely think that sometimes I can't even live without that pressure. I saw that quote in The Bear, the new season sucked, by the way, for me. At least it sucked. I want kitchen, I want high paced, and they just go into everybody's arc and like psychological side. Not for me. I'm sorry. Hate me, whatever, but I hated it. We binge watched it in one night, one sitting. But yeah, it was not good. But there was some good moments, and one of those good moments was when they were having some of the characters were having a conversation. The guy that does the pastries, that was in Narnia, that guy, and I don't remember who else. And he was just talking about the pressure, and I definitely can't live without this pressure. I like pressure. I like it when my client, really pushes me and pressures me. And of course he's gonna do that because they're paying me, and I like that to really get the motor going. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the pressure. I'm ready to do this and I'm just excited. I'm just excited to get to this first year anniversary and have an actual brand with an actual plan. And just to finish the video, this kind of long video podcast moment with everyone here, my 35, 36 beautiful subscribers. Yeah, I'm really going into it this month to understand how I'm gonna, like have a brand that is going to charge a monthly fee. We're going to go into different areas. There's going to be a office mess playbook. We're going to talk a lot about business and entrepreneurship and what I've done with my own company, and what I'm thinking to do with my future plans. There's going to be another side where it's going to be more podcasty. I'm going to do these types of videos, long format, or medium size format. There's going to be interviews. There's going to be like a sort of dispatch. I love like playing with the old school newspaper vibe or old media vibe where I'm like my own correspondent out there. I want to go out there, try to get some interviews going. I know a lot of people in the industry. I know a lot of people that want to get interviewed. If you like know how to curate that moment and know how to produce, and I know how to produce. I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm just excited. I'm just excited to like be my own correspondent and have like a dispatch. That's why this is the first dispatch. I'm pushing this forward. This is reporting live from Baja, Mexicali to be exact, Mexicali. When I'm in English, like I'll say it in the English accent. I'm sorry if that's annoying sometimes. And yes, I'll do some stuff in Spanish. I'm definitely gonna keep the Spanish content going. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm trying to do it in English because I do want to hit more people and I do want to invite more people around anywhere to come into the office mess and just join this community that I'm going to start building. And yeah, there's going to be more structure. There's going to be a bigger team helping me out with this. Now it used to be just me and my partner, my life partner and business partner. That's a whole other thing, and we'll talk about that. And she's just been amazing helping me editing. I mean, reading my drafts, morally supporting me, which is a bigger even thing when you're doing this. But now, my team at my company was kind of helping me, but we have so much work that I wasn't going to put my personal projects on top of everything else. But now I finally found a team of younger and more energetic people that are going to help me, push through. In this case, editors, video editors. I think that's my biggest bottleneck when I do these types of things. But just more people helping me out. I am paying for that service. I am gonna like have a team behind me. They are working with me with other clients, so I kind of outsource them already for other projects. I test them out and they're amazing. So now I was like, you know what, help me with my own project. And that's going to be really cool. And I'm not ashamed or I'm not even like keeping it a secret. Do it if it's necessary. I think take it serious. Take it serious if you're in this level. And I think I'm going to be able to really invite people over that are at this level. I'm reading, I'm consuming, and I'm analyzing, and I am criticizing. I'm going to be criticizing. I'm going to be constructively and sometimes maybe even a little bit of a hater vibe, but I don't care. Like it's time to speak up with respect, with consistency, with truth, with so many different things that come in to like create a good critique, a good critic, a good what's it called in English, like critica. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and hopefully this whole moment is going to be amazing. This July is going to really change how the office mess moves forward. So if you got to this point, amazing. If you're just starting out, if you're a beginner, stick around. I think hanging out with more experienced creators like myself and other people that I'm going to bring in, it's going to really teach you a lot. I really like this part where I was listening to this creator talk about how he learned his craft in Japan, but he didn't really learn a lot of Japanese because after 20 years of learning his craft, he honestly didn't talk that much. He just looked and observed these masters at work and got to work, and that was pretty funny. That's a shame that he didn't learn how to speak Japanese that much. He could have done that outside the craft moment, but it was really amazing to listen to that. Like I want you to be able to just listen and observe. Take a few years, before you launch. Take a few years before you go big. I uploaded my first YouTube video when I was 12, and now I'm 31, and I try to do professional level videos when I was 16, and I've been doing project through project and everything that I did to this moment. Maybe when I was like 28, because when I was 28, I shifted and I launched my company and I shifted a lot of the things that I did. Everything that I did was my school. I actually see it as my school portfolio, like my past company, my past, big projects that I invested thousands of dollars in. It was my school, and I dropped out. So I guess it fits really well. I graduated a few years and I kept silent a little bit in a way, because I wasn't, completely pushing it to all the different areas that I could, push it through. And I was kind of being, careful about where I was posting. When I post on TikTok, it was really different to where I post on Instagram. So I don't know, it's been a interesting few years, to get to this point, but now I'm ready. And now I don't care if you think this is cringy, if you think my hair is whatever. I know I'm trying to like, get inspired by Robert Pattinson and his, messy hair. Love it. I don't care if you don't care. And if it's cringe, I don't care. It's like once you like release that, it's just unbelievable. But you're not gonna just, look at me or listen to me right now and be like, oh, now I get it. Now when I release it, it takes years of practice to really let go. It takes years and years of practice and a lot of sweat to go through this, and now I'm happy that I went through it. Just like anybody that feels when they've put in the work, I do feel like that. So if you're like me or you're vibing with this, then we're gonna connect. And if you want to obviously learn and seek knowledge through me, then there's gonna be a fee, and that's fine, if you don't get it. But I do feel that more and more people are gonna value that, and hopefully one day this is going to let me invest into my brand, into so many other things that I want to do. And that's the only thing that I want. I'm not trying to get super rich with this. I'm just trying to value what I do, and it feels nice when you do it. And now I have the experience to understand that I am trying to get rich, or trying to make it with my own company. Of course I am playing the game, but not with this. This is different, and when there's a reward, of course it feels amazing, but it's not the only reason I do it. It's not the only reason I do it for. So, yes, thank you for being here, for being part of this journey. If you have been part of my journey, so many people have, supported me over the past few years. So, thank you. Thank you. And yes, gracias, everyone. I'll do more content in Spanish, trust me. But you know me, I like doing English shit. So, yes, we are here. And now I'm leaving. This is over. Thank you so much. This was the Office Mess Late Night Raw Edition Messy series. And we'll be doing more of these probably. So, stay tuned. Peace.